Hello everyone. Today I'm here with another tutor marked assignments. So let's start the session. Assignment 2 tutor marked assignment. The course code for this assignment is DECE-2. Assignment code is DECE-2 TMA for the session of 22 to 23. Total marks is 100. Last date of submission of assignment to the study center is 30th September 2023 for January 2023 session and 30th March 2024 for July 2023 session. You have to attempt all the questions. So section A contains 8 questions. So let's start. The topic of this assignment is child health and nutrition. Question 1 is write short note on any 4 of the following. Digestion on food. Digestion time varies among individuals and between men and women. After you eat, it takes about 6 to 8 hours for food to pass through your stomach and small intestine. Food then enters your large intestine for further digestion, absorption of water, and finally elimination of undigested food. It takes about 36 hours for food to move through the entire colon. All in this, the whole process from the time you swallow food to the time it leaves your body as feces takes about 2 to 5 days depending on the individual. The processes of digestion include 6 activities: ingestion, propulsion, mechanical or physical digestion, chemical digestion, absorption, and defecation. The first of these processes, ingestion, refers to the entry of the food into the alimentary canal through the mouth. There, the mouth is chewed and mixed with saliva, which contains enzymes that begin breaking down the carbohydrates in the food, plus some lipid digest via lingual lipase. Chewing lingual lipase is an enzyme. Chewing increases the surface area of the food and allows an appropriate size bolus to be produced. Food leaves the mouth when the tongue and pharyngeal muscles propel it into the esophagus. This act of swallowing the last voluntary act until defecation. It is an example of propulsion which refers to the movement of the food through the digestive tract. It includes both the voluntary process of swallowing and the involuntary process of peristalsis. Peristalsis consists of sequential alternating waves of contraction and relaxation of alimentary canal wall smooth muscles which act to propel food along. These waves also play a role in mixing food with digestive juices. Peristalsis is so powerful that foods and liquids you swallow enter your stomach even if you are studying on your head. Digestion includes both mechanical and chemical processes. Mechanical digestion is a purely physical process that does not change the chemical nature of the food. Instead, it makes the food smaller to increase both surface area and mobility. It includes mastication or chewing, as well as tongue movements that help break food into smaller bits and mix food with saliva. Although there may be a tendency to think that mechanical digestion is limited to the first step of the digestive process. It occurs after the food leaves the mouth as well. The mechanical chewing of the food in the stomach serves to further break it apart and expose more of its surface area to digestive juices, creating an acidic soup called chyme. Segmentation, which occurs mainly in the small intestine, consists of localized contraction of circular muscle of the muscularis layer of the alimentary canal. These contractions isolate small sections of the intestine, moving their contents back and forth while continuously subdividing, breaking up, and mixing the contents. By moving food back and forth in the intestinal lumen, segmentation mixes food with digestive juices and facilitates absorption. In chemical digestion, starting in the mouth, digestive secretions break down complex food molecules into their chemical building blocks. For example, proteins into separate amino acids. These secretions vary in composition but typically contain water, various enzymes, acids, and salts. The process is completed in the small intestine. Food that has been broken down is of no value to the body unless it enters the bloodstream and its nutrients are put to work. This occurs through the process of absorption, which takes place primarily within the small intestine. There, most nutrients are absorbed from the lumen of the alimentary canal into the bloodstream through the epithelial cells that make up the mucosa. Lipids are absorbed into lacteals and are transported via the lymphatic vessels to the bloodstreams. Antenatal care. Antenatal care is the care you get from health professionals during your pregnancy. It's sometimes called pregnancy care or maternity care. You will be offered appointments with a midwife or sometimes a doctor who specializes in pregnancy and birth. Antenatal care ANC provides monitoring and regular follow-up of maternal and fetal health during pregnancy. Women with appropriate ANC tend to have better delivery and birth outcomes. This study describes the patterns of ANC utilization and factors associated with appropriate ANC initiation in the United Arab Emirates for the first time. Methods: baseline cross sectional data from pregnant women who participated in the Mutaba Mother and Child Health Care between May 2017 and January 2019 was analyzed. Participants were recruited during ANC visits and completed a self administered questionnaire that collected socio-demographic and pregnancy-related information and assessed whether it was their first ANC appointment. Regression models assessed the relationship between socio-demographic and pregnancy-related variables and appropriate versus late ANC initiation. Good antenatal care aims to make sure that pregnancy to the mother and to keep the developing baby healthy. Further, this is a chance of the doctor and healthcare providers to provide health education to both the mothers and their parents and their partners. These aims are achieved by following a definite plan and schedule, being problem oriented, identifying risk factors from previous obstetric history, identify potential complications and risk factors, screen for health conditions that can affect the mother and fetus, provide health education. Why is antenatal care important? During pregnancy, proper monitoring of the mother and baby's health is important. Here are the reasons why. Best nutrition. During pregnancy, getting the best nutrition for you and your unborn baby is very important. Second is keep track of development. During the prenatal checkup, the doctor will keep track of the baby's development inside the womb. Third is screening. Antenatal care also involves screening both the mother and baby for potential conditions that can affect pregnancy. Appropriate immunization. During pregnancy, some vaccines are safe and important. One of the vaccines given to pregnant women is the tetanus toxoid vaccine, which is crucial to protect both the mother and the baby during delivery. Fifth is schedule testing. Testing is crucial during pregnancy. Doctors will base the tests ordered on the assessments they made. Some of the conditions that can be diagnosed using laboratory tests include diabetes, human immunodeficiency virus infection, hepatitis B, and other sexually transmitted diseases. These tests will also determine if the mother is safe to deliver vaginally or the doctor will need to request a C section. Sixth is antenatal classes. During the antenatal period, the mother and her partner may also be recommended to undergo prenatal classes, particularly those who are first time parents. Health education. Antenatal period is a time for the obstetrician, midwife, or nurse to empower the mother through health education. This involves teaching the mother about the benefits and importance of breastfeeding, how to properly care for a newborn, and why it is important to safeguard their health during pregnancy. As the pregnancy reaches the third semester, the schedule for an antenatal visit will be more frequent, allowing the healthcare providers to educate the mother on what to do and how to cope with the pregnancy. Pregnancy is a complex phase of womanhood. There are many things to learn and do. Obstetricians play a major role in helping mothers cope and provide the care needed for a healthy pregnancy. Complementary feeding. Around the age of 6 months, an infant's need for energy and nutrients starts to exceed what is provided by breast milk, and complementary foods are necessary to meet those needs. An infant of this age is also developmentally ready for other foods. This transition is referred to as complementary feeding. Importance. Good nutrition in the first 2 years of life is crucial. Therefore, to grow and stay healthy, young children need a variety of nutritious foods such as meat, fish, pulses, grains, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. Foods such as mashed vegetables and chopped meat, eggs, fish should be added to the child's diet as often as possible. Starting at 6 months of age, feed babies freshly prepared energy and nutrient rich complementary foods while continuing to breastfeed the baby up to 2 years of age and longer. The child's stomach is smaller than an adult's, so a child cannot eat as much at one meal. However, children's energy and baby building needs are great. It is important that children eat frequently to provide for all their needs. Examples of balanced baby foods. A thick prodigy is made out of a flour of either maize or cassava or millet or soya. Sugar, oil, milk, groundnuts, eggs, and fruits can be mixed into the prodigy. Mashed food is a mixture of a food like oak, potatoes, masava posha, maize or millet, and fish, meat, beans, or groundnuts. Also, vegetables like greens, pumpkin, carrot, eggplant, avocado, tomato should be mixed in the baby food. Benefits of complementary feeding. Complementary feeding ensures healthy growth and development of children through the variety of nutritious food introduced in addition to breast milk. Good nutrition care and hygiene, especially in the first 2 years of life, are necessary to prevent children from becoming too short for their age. Xerophthalmia. It is a disease that causes dry eyes to vitamin A deficiency. If it goes untreated, it can progress into night blindness or spots on your eyes. It can even damage the cornea of your eye and causes blindness. The disease is rare in the US, is more commonly seen in developing countries where people are more likely to have nutrient deficiencies. It can be treated with vitamin A supplements. Causes of Xerophthalmia, vitamin A or retinol is an essential nutrient. Its main function is to help maintain your eye health and vision. It also protects your vital organs, including your lungs, heart, and supports your immune system. Your body can't make its own vitamin A. You need to eat foods like carrots, meat, or take supplements that are rich in vitamin A. Getting enough vitamin A is important for your health. A lack of vitamin A in your diet may cause dry eyes, which is called xerophthalmia. Now, the risk factors of xerophthalmia is it can happen because of underlying conditions that causes vitamin A deficiency. It has the following risk factors. Young age vitamin A deficiency is more common in infants and children. It can hinder a child's growth and have negative effect on viral organs and complicate other diseases or infections. If a child does not get enough vitamin A as they are growing, it may cause xerophthalmia or childhood blindness. Vitamin A deficiency can also occur in children due to diseases like measles and respiratory infections. Such infections increases the chances of xerophthalmia in children. Severe xerophthalmia affects infants far more than adults. Children 3 to 6 years of age are at a higher risk of developing night blindness due to xerophthalmia. Other factors. These are some other risk factors of xerophthalmia in children and adults, including poverty. People who live in poverty or can't afford proper meals are more likely to develop diseases like xerophthalmia. Lack of nutrition education. Those who don't receive proper education about nutrition are usually unaware of the benefit of vitamin A. This can lead to a lower intake of vitamin A in their diet. Malnutrition. Lack of proper nutrition may lead to vitamin A deficiency. Severe malnutrition can result in dry eyes and may cause night blindness. Other diseases like pancreatitis or inflammatory bowel disease can cause vitamin A deficiency. Liver problems. Chronic liver diseases or liver cirrhosis can prevent vitamin A from being absorbed into the body. The resulting vitamin A deficiency may lead to xerophthalmia. Chronic diarrhea. People who have diarrhea repeatedly are at an increased risk of xerophthalmia due to vitamin A depletion. Alcoholism. Drinking excess alcohol may decrease the levels of vitamin A in your body. Symptoms of xerophthalmia. It is a progressive disease that begins with dry eyes and may keep getting worse. These are the typical symptoms of xerophthalmia: drying and wrinkling of outer layer of your eye or conjunctiva. Night blindness and eye disease in which you can't see in dim light. Ulcers or scars on your cornea. Bitots, spots or white spots on your conjunctiva. Softening of your cornea. Xerophthalmia is a preventable disease that can be easily treated, but in extreme cases it can cause permanent blindness. Describe the rural health delivery system of India. The healthcare infrastructure in rural areas have been developed as a three-tier system as follows. Subcenter. Most peripheral contact point between primary healthcare system and community band with 1 HW. ANM and 1 HWM. Primary healthcare, a referral unit for 6 sub-centers, 4 to 6 bedded mannered with a medical office in charge and 14 subordinate paramedical staff. Community healthcare, a 30-bedded hospital, referral unit for 4 PHCs with specialized services. Healthcare is the right of every individual but lack of quality infrastructure. Dearth of qualified medical functionaries and non-access to basic medicines and medical facilities throughout its reach to 60% of population in India. A majority of 700 million people lives in rural areas where the condition of medical facilities is deplorable. Considering the picture of grim facts, there is a dire need of new practices and procedures to ensure that quality and timely healthcare reach the deprived corners of the Indian village. Though a lot of policies and programs are being run by the government, but the success and effectiveness of these programs is questionable due to gaps in the implementation in rural India, where the number of primary healthcare centers is limited. 8% of the centers do not have doctors or medical staff, 39% do not have lab technicians, and 18% PHCs do not have even pharmacists. India also accounts for the largest number of maternity deaths. A majority of these are in rural areas where maternal health care is poor. Even in private sector, healthcare is often confined to family planning and antenatal care and do not extend to most critical services like labor and delivery. Where proper medical care can save life in the case of complications, the problems due to non-accessibility to public health care and low quality of health care services, a majority of people in India turn to the local private health sector as their first choices of care. If we look at the health landscape of India, 92% of healthcare visits are to private providers, of which 70% is urban population. However, private healthcare is expensive, often unregulated, and variable in quality. Besides being unreliable for the illiterate, it is also unaffordable for low-income rural folks. To control the spread of diseases and reduce the growing rates of mortality due to lack of adequate health facilities, special attention needs to be given to the healthcare in rural areas. The key challenge in the healthcare sector are low quality of care, poor accountability, lack of awareness, and limited access to facility. Various organizations are coming together for improvement in healthcare, and technology plays a crucial role to facilitate this. Information and communication technology provides hosts of solutions for successful implementation of these changes. Technology for rural healthcare. Several organizations are working alongside the government and NGOs to help relieve the burden on the public health system. Using mobile technology, India has over 900 million mobile phone users, and this fact can be privileged to employ better practices in even the remote areas. Leading global organizations of healthcare industry are using our mobile technology to enhance the quality of care and bridge the gaps in healthcare services. Graham Vanney provides cutting edge mobile and IVR solutions to automate processes and applies best practices in the field. Our services cater to healthcare sectors, social sector, and corporate organizations for connecting with the difficult to reach markets at bottom of the pyramid. We have built simple technologies on mobile to suit the needs of different sectors and verticals. By improving the systems and functions of our clients, we have impacted thousands of lives in rural India. Though mobile and IVR services, we have an extensive reach across the demography. Our initiative is focused on delivering best tools and solutions to our partners for reaching out to the rural markets and gives a platform to be directly connected to them. Leading global organizations of healthcare industry are using our technology to enhance the quality of care and bridge the gaps in healthcare services in rural India. Campaigns for healthcare accountability. In association with Grand Challenge Canada, we conducted a health campaign to review health services for accountability in Jharkhand. In this campaign on Mobile Vani, we invited opinions, experiences, information, and feedback from public on current government health facilities in Jharkhand. People from different districts of Jharkhand left messages on various issues in healthcare facilities, such as health facilities available at PHCs, laboratory testing and delivery facilities at government health centers, availability of clean toilet and drinking water at PHCs, and distance of the nearest health center from the village. List the major sources and functions of any two macronutrients and two micronutrients. Macronutrients or micros are essential nutrients the body needs in large quantity to remain healthy. Macronutrients provide the body with energy, help prevent diseases, and allow the body to function correctly. There are three main types of macronutrients: proteins, fats, carbohydrates. Macronutrients are available in many food sources, but it can be difficult to determine the right amount to consume. There are also a number of factors that can influence the quality of macronutrients people may need. What are the importance of macronutrients? Nutrients. Each type of macronutrient performs an important role in keeping the body healthy. For optimum health, people typically require a balance of macronutrients. These are carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Food resources. While most foods cannot contain a combination of macronutrients. Some sources are better than others for specific macronutrients. Carbohydrates, these are common in whole grains such as rice, pasta, flour. They are also present in starch such as potatoes and corns, as well as dairy, whole fruits, honey, and beans. Proteins are often present in meat, fish, nuts, seeds, whole grain beans, eggs, dairy, soya, tofu. Fats. Healthier unsaturated fats are common in avocados, oily fish, seeds, oil, olive oil, and nuts. Sources of saturated fat can induce meat and processed or oily foods such as butter and cheese. Diets with macronutrients. When considering a dry diet or nutrition plan, some people may try macro diets which focus on the balance of macronutrients. Some example of the popular macro diets include keto diet. The keto diet uses a low carb, adequate protein, and high fat approach that may help some people with weight loss. Paleo diet. The paleo diet mimics how people may have eaten during the Paleolithic era. Trusted source. Weight Watchers diet. The Weight Watchers plan is a diet program involving a points system that restricts the amount and types of foods people may eat. IIFYM diet. This diet involves focusing on macronutrients rather than just calories. They include vitamins and minerals also. Vitamins are necessary for energy production, immune function, blood clotting, and other functions. Meanwhile, minerals play an important role in growth, bone health, fluid balance, and several other processes. This article provides a detailed overview of micronutrients, their functions, and implications of excess consumption of or deficiencies. Macronutrients, on the other hand, include proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Your body needs smaller amount of micronutrients related to macronutrients. That's why they are labeled micro. Humans must obtain micronutrients from food since your body cannot produce vitamins and minerals for the most part. That's why they are also referred to as essential nutrients. Vitamins are organic compounds made by plants and animals which can be broken down by heat, acid, or air. On the other hand, minerals are inorganic, exist in soil or water, and cannot be broken down. When you eat, you consume the vitamins that plants and animals created or the minerals they absorbed. The micronutrients content of each food is different. So it's best to eat a variety of foods to get enough vitamins and minerals. An adequate intake of all micronutrients is necessary for optimal health, as such vitamins and minerals has specific role in your body. Types and functions of micronutrients. Vitamins and minerals can be divided into four categories: water soluble vitamin, fat soluble, microminerals, trace minerals. Regardless of type, vitamins and minerals are absorbed in similar way in your body and interact in many processes. Types of micronutrients and their function. There are four categories of micronutrients: microminerals, macrominerals, water soluble vitamins, and fat soluble vitamins. The sections below look at each of these in more detail. Microminerals. Your body needs fewer than 100 milligrams of microminerals daily. Micromineral nutrients include iron, copper, zinc, selenium, iodine, fluoride, manganese. Microminerals. Macrominerals include calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride. The following are a few examples of sources of micronutrients: leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds, eggs and dairy, meat, fish and seafood, plant based proteins. Food sources of micronutrients. Eating a balanced variety of food sources can help to prevent micronutrient deficiency. Some manufacturers also fortify processed foods such as cereal with vitamins. Not all food sources will contain all of the same nutrients. This is why it is important to eat a wide variety of whole foods to meet nutritional needs. The following are a few examples of sources of micronutrients: leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds, eggs and dairy, meat, fish and seafood, plant based proteins. Number 4. Suggest a day's balanced diet menu for an infant. State what the child will eat at different times of the day. Also state what nutrients the infant will get from each food item mentioned in the menu. When your baby turns 1, it is time to include all the nutrients such as carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and minerals in his diet. Also, you must make sure that he eats at regular intervals at least 4 times a day. Here is a day's sample menu that will supply your 1-year-old child with all the necessary nutrients. Early morning, start the day with a glass of milk. Health benefit: milk is rich in calcium and vitamin D, dietary fats and proteins. It is important to make your child drink milk for the healthy development of both bones and the brain. Breakfast time. Within half an hour of waking up, idlis with tomato or mint chutney, chapatis with honey, mashed carrots, non-veg option, scrambled oiled eggs, boiled eggs. Health benefits. The rice and dal present in idlis will take care of your baby's protein and carbohydrate needs. Also, idli is easily digestible. Carrots are a good source of vitamins A, C, K, B8, and also minerals. The vitamins in carrots improve eyesight, are good for the memory, and prevent constipation. Eggs contain chlorine, a vitamin B variant that is a great memory booster. Vitamin A and proteins necessary for the child's growth. Note, if you want to include an egg recipe in your baby's diet plan, make sure your baby is non allergic to eggs. Honey boosts immunity and is an instant source of energy. It also provides vitamins and minerals. Tomatoes are rich in vitamin C. Mid morning snack time. 2 hours after breakfast, mashed apples. Health benefits. Apples are rich in fiber, carbohydrates, and minerals, which help harden bones and provide energy. Lunchtime. 2 hours after the mid morning snack. Rice with sambar and a side dish. Fulkas with a side dish. Option for side dish: squash curry, okra fry. A small cup of curd or buttermilk. One seasonal fruit cut into small pieces. Go for orange or chiku. Health benefits. Rice is a good source of carbohydrates while sambar is rich in proteins. Orange provide vitamin C, which is necessary for healthy gums and strong blood vessels. And chiku provides minerals. Okra or lady finger is a good source of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and dietary fiber. Squash has good amount of vitamin A and essential mineral like calcium and iron. Evening snacks time. 3 hours after lunch, whole grain toast with butter, dal vadas. Health benefit. Whole grains contain protein, fiber, vitamin B, and minerals. Butter given in moderate amount gives necessary fats. Dinner time. 3 hours after evening snacks, soft chapatis with a cup of moong dal and a side dish, dosas with sambar. Options for side dish: beetroot or mashed potatoes with mashed peas and butter. Fruit salad mixed in a bowl of milk. Health benefits. Dal is a source of protein. Chapatis and potatoes provide carbohydrates. Beetroot is a good source of iron. Dosa provides both proteins and carbohydrates. This is a sample diet plan. Every child's dietary needs are different, and you can get to know your child's needs better by consulting a dietitian. Menu planning for babies and childcare. Every childhood services that provide food and drinks for babies from 6 to 12 months old should provide nutritious foods and drinks in line with the Australian government's infant feeding guidelines and get up and grow. Healthy eating and physical activity for every children. By making simple change to the regular menu, services can provide tasty meals and snacks that meet infants' nutritional needs which are appropriate for their developmental stage. First foods for infants. From around 6 months, babies need solid food in addition to breast milk or formula for adequate nutrients and energy. Introducing solid food at this age is also important to help children develop skills required for eating, such as chewing. Foods provided to infants in long daycare should be nutritious and of appropriate textures for their age and developmental states. See food textures and consistencies for age and developmental stage on the next page. The daily menu should offer a variety of age appropriate nutritious foods each day for adequate energy and nutrients. Iron. In line with the infant feeding guidelines to prevent iron deficiency, nutritious food that contain iron should be among the first foods introduced. Iron rich foods include iron fortified infant cereal, pureed meat, poultry and fish, egg cooked plain, tofu, and legumes. Example: chickpeas, red, green, or brown lentils, split peas, and beans. Example: kidney beans, navy beans, broad beans, azuki beans, mung beans, lima beans, pinto beans. As long as foods that contain iron are among the first foods introduced, other nutritious foods can be introduced in any order and at any rate that suits the infant. Although cow's milk products, including full fat yogurt, cheese, and custard, may be given, cow's milk should not be provided as a main drink before 12th month. By 12 months of age, infants should be enjoying a variety of nutritious foods from the 5 food groups and eating from the regular daily menu. Breast milk or infant formula should be continued while introducing solids. Long daycare services should ensure that have sufficient stock of expressed breast milk or infant formula to support infants' needs. Note, mashed vegetables are a good source of nutrients for infant, but do not provide the iron that babies need for growth and development. To prevent iron deficiency, include iron-rich foods in the menu for babies each day, such as iron-fortified infant cereal, pureed meat and poultry and fish, cooked plain tofu and legumes, and beans. Food textures and consistencies for age and developmental stage. Increasing and varying food texture for infants is essential for their oral motor development. And to help them accept different food textures, it is important to always offer foods that are an appropriate texture and consistency for infants' developmental stages. This means progressing quickly through the pure mashed phase and offering foods with varied textures. Infants should be introduced to a variety of foods of different colors and flavors. If foods are pured and mashed, they should not be mashed together but should be presented individually, either in pieces or on a spoon, to encourage infants to taste and accept individual flavor. The following can be used as a guide for preparing foods of appropriate texture for children in care. From around 6 months, offer pured mashed foods progressing to lumpy and finely chopped options. By 8 months, offer chopped and finger foods to encourage children to start feeding themselves. By 12 months, offer foods from the regular menu with a variety of tastes and textures in children's size portion. Drinks for infants birth to 1 year and beyond. Breast milk or infant formula should be the main drink in the first 12 months of the life. From around 6 months, small amount of cooled boiled tap water can supplement breast milk or infant formula. After 12 months, water and full cream cow's milk should be the main drink offered at long day care. Tap water is an important source of fluoride for young children. Clean and safe tap water should be offered where available. Low fat and reduced fat milks are not recommended in the first 2 years of life, but are suitable for children over the age of 2 years. When providing food and drinks for infants in care, it is important to keep the following in mind. For the first 3 years of life, avoid giving foods with a high risk of choking. Always supervise children during meal and snack time. Cow's milk should not be given as the main drink before 12 months of age. Salt and sugar should not be added to infants' food. Offering sweet and salty foods in early childhood can result in children developing a preference for these foods, which may be carried into later life. Infants should not be given foods with high level of saturated fat, added sugar, and or added salt. Honey should not be given to babies as it may contain bacterial pores that can cause infant botulism if given to babies under 12 months of age. Sweet drinks like fruit juice and fruit drinks, flavored milk, soft drinks, and cordials should not be given to infants and children. These drinks add sugar to the diet and can increase the risk of children becoming overweight and developing oral health problems. Tea, including herbal tea and coffee, are not appropriate drinks for infants and children. Now, question number 5. Highlight the physiological change expecting mothers experience during pregnancy. Pregnancy and the associated changes are a normal physiological process in response to the development of the fetus. These changes happen in response to many factors: hormonal change, increase in the total blood volume, weight gain, and increase in fetus size as the pregnancy progresses. All these factors have a physiological impact on the pregnant woman. So, the full gestation period is 39 to 40 weeks, and preterm birth is classed at delivery before 37 weeks of gestation. So the pelvis is the region found between the trunk and lower limbs. In females, the pelvis is wider and lower than that of the male counterpart, making it more suitable to accommodate a fetus during both pregnancy and delivery. It protects and supports the pelvic content, provides muscle attachment, and facilitates the transfer of weight from trunk to legs in standing and to the ischial tuberosities in sitting. The cross-sectional anatomy of the female pelvis shows 5 bones: 2 hip bones, sacrum, coccyx, and 2 femurs. The joints are supported by some of the strongest ligaments in the body, which become laxer during pregnancy, leading to increased joint mobility and less efficient load transfer through the pelvis. The pelvis outlet at the base of the pelvis is narrower in its transverse diameter when compared with the pelvic inlet. It comprises the pubic arch, ischial spines, sacrotuberous ligaments, and coccyx. 4 pairs of abdominal muscles combine to form the anterior and lateral abdominal wall and may be termed the abdominal corset. Transversus abdominis lies deep to the internal abdominal oblique and external abdominal oblique with the rectus abdominis central, anterior and superficial. The internal oblique, external oblique, and transversus abdominis insert into an aponeurosis joining in the midline at the linea alba. The deep abdominal muscles, together with the pelvic floor muscles, multifidus, and diaphragm, can be considered as a complete unit and may be termed the lumbopelvic slender. This provides support for the abdominal contents and maintains intra-abdominal pressure. Organs of the female reproductive system present in the pelvic are subdivided into internal and external genitalia. The internal genitalia consist of the uterus, two uterine tubes, two ovaries, and the vagina. The external genital mainly consist of the pons pubis, clitoris, labia majoris, labia minoris, and Bartholin gland. During pregnancy, the pregnant mother undergoes significant anatomical and physiological changes in order to nurture and accommodate the developing fetus. These changes begin after conception and after even organ system in the body. For most women experiencing an uncomplicated pregnancy, these changes resolve after pregnancy with minimal residual effects. This is important to understand the formal physiological change occurring in pregnancy, as this will help differentiate from adaptation that are abnormal. Plasma volume increases progressively throughout normal pregnancy. Most of this 50% increase occurs by 34 weeks gestation and is proportional to the birth weight of the baby. Because of the expansion in plasma volume is greater than the increase in red blood cell mass, there is a fall in hemoglobin concentration, hematocrit, and red blood cell count. Despite this hemodilution, there is usually no change in mean corpuscular volume or mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. The platelet count tends to fall progressively during normal pregnancy, although it usually remains within normal limits. In a proportional of women, the count will reach level of 100 minus 150 into 109 cells per liter by term, and this occurs in the absence of any pathological process. In practice, therefore, a woman is not considered to be thrombocytopenia in pregnancy until the platelet count is less than 100 into 109 cells per liter. Pregnancy causes a 2 to 3-fold increase in the requirement for iron, not only for hemoglobin synthesis but also for the fetus and the production of certain enzymes. There is a 10 to 12-fold increase in the folate requirement and a 2-fold increase in the requirement of vitamin B12. Genes in the coagulation system during pregnancy produce a physiological hypercoagulable state. The concentration of certain clotting factors, particularly 8, 9, and 10, are increased. Fibrinogen level rise significantly by up to 50%, and fibrinolytic activity is decreased. Concentrations of endogenous anticoagulants such as antithrombin and protein S decrease. The pregnancy alters the balance within the coagulation system in favor of clotting, predisposing the pregnant and postpartum woman to venous thrombosis. This increased risk is present from the first trimester and for at least 12 weeks following delivery. In vitro tests of coagulation, activated partial thromboplastin time, prothrombin time, and thrombin time remain normal in the absence of anticoagulants or a coagulopathy. Venous stasis in the lower limb is associated with venodilation and decreased flow, which is more marked on the left. This is due to compression of the left iliac vein by the left iliac artery and the ovarian artery. On the right, the iliac artery does not cross the vein. Write about the health assessment of care of mother after delivery. Some women will give birth in the home with a skilled attendant. Others may not have a skilled attendant present. Some people who give birth in the facility will spend time there following childhood. WHO recommends that a woman not be discharged before 24 hours after birth. Regardless of the place of birth, it is important that someone accompanies the woman and newborn for the first 24 hours after birth to respond to any changes in her or her baby's condition. Many complications can occur in the first 24 hours following childbirth. At home, it is important that the mother and baby receive a postnatal examination as early as possible, preferably within 24 hours of birth. If the birth was at a facility, mother and baby should receive a postnatal examination before discharge. Childhood Childbirth, the woman and newborn should be examined within 24 hours by a health worker. At this time, also discuss with the woman and family the timing of subsequent visits and the immunization schedule for the baby. WHO recommends that the mother and baby be visited at home by a trained health worker, preferably within the first week after birth. If your facility does not carry out home visits, discuss with the mother how she will come to the facility or local clinic for these scheduled visits. These visits early in the postnatal period are important for the mother and baby. It is also an important opportunity to ensure the establishment of breastfeeding and addresses any difficulty with attachment and positioning. Care within the first 24 hours, providing nursing care to a postpartum woman during the first 24 hours entails the following. Assess the woman's family profile to determine the impact that the newborn would give the family and to the woman. Assess the woman's pregnancy history, especially if the pregnancy was planned or unplanned, as it will determine the ability of the woman to bond with the newborn. Assess the labor and birth history, such as the length of the labor and if any analgesia or anesthesia was used to determine any necessary procedure to be done. Determine the infant's data and profile to help with planning the care of the newborn and promote bonding between the parents. The woman would also need a postpart, postpartum course such as her activity level after birth, any difficulties or pain felt, and if she is successful with infant feeding to determine any need for anticipatory guidance in home care. Assess any laboratory data of the woman to be certain that she is recovering well and if any procedures or additional diagnostic tests need to be performed. Assess the woman's general appearance because it is a reflection of how well the woman is moving into the taking hold phase of recovery. Assess the woman that losing a quantity of her hair is not a sign of illness, but because she is returning to her non pregnant stage as hair grows rapidly during pregnancy because of increased metabolism. Assess for facial edema, especially for a woman with pregnancy induced hypertension. Advise the woman to purchase a nursing bra that is 1 to 2 sizes larger than her pregnancy size to allow for increase. Assess the woman's breast for any cracks or fissures and avoid sequencing the nipple. Also assess for signs of mastitis such as inflammation of a certain part of a breast. Assess the location, consistency and height of the fundus through palpation. If the uterus is not firm upon palpation, massage it gently. Placing the infant on the mother's breast also aids in stimulating contractions. Logia is expected in a postpartum woman for 2 to 6 weeks, so assessment of its characteristics is necessary to determine if it is the normal or not. Observe the perineum for ecchymosis, hematoma, edema, or any drainage and bleeding from the stitches. Care in preparation for discharge. Before the woman is discharged, she must be educated properly regarding the care of the newborn and herself at home. Assess first the ability of the mother to absorb new instructions and to listen. Conducting group classes regarding newborn care could generally help mothers learn not only what the instructors teach but also from the experiences that some mothers should share to the group. It is also recommended for fathers to attend such classes so the mother would have someone she can rely on with the newborn care. Individual's instruction is also sought after postpartum as the family will need to know how to care for the woman and the newborn after discharge. Teaching should not always be formal, it may come in the form of comments during classes or procedures. Instruct the woman to avoid lifting heavy objects for the first 3 weeks after birth. Advise women to allot a rest period every day or to sit or to rest and sleep while her newborn is also asleep so she can regain her energy. Be certain that the woman is aware that she must return to the healthcare facility after 4 to 6 weeks for examination and that she must arrange an appointment for her baby to be examined by a pediatrician at 2 to 4 weeks of age. Make sure that the woman and the family understand the discharge instructions amidst all the frenzy of the new baby. Review the instructions with parents before they leave. Calling or visiting 24 hours after discharge is the best way to evaluate whether the family has been able to grasp all instructions and integrate the newborn into the family. Care after discharge. Discharge from the healthcare facility usually occurs after 2 to 3 years after birth. The woman can rest better at home and may eat better if she has cultural preferences regarding food. The newborn can also be exposed earlier to the new routines of the family and make it easier for her to adjust the extrauterine environment. A home visit after the discharge is usually recommended to check on how the family is doing now that they have a newborn in the house. High risk newborns, newborns born to adolescent mothers, and newborns with mothers who has abused drugs during pregnancy need to have a specially planned discharge and home visit. Pregnancy history is assessed during the postpartum visit, and if there are any difficulty with the bonding between the mother and the baby, and allow the woman to relate her labor and birth experiences. Assess the newborn history, and if there are any concerns about the newborn that the woman has noticed, assess the woman's future plans, whether she is going back to work outside home, and if she had already arranged the care of her newborn while she is away. Conduct a family assessment and ask if other members of the family are adapting well with a newborn in the house. Examine both the mother and the newborn physically to note any sign of postpartum complications or defects. Remind the mother about the health maintenance visit of the newborn once she reaches 2 to 4 weeks old and her return checkup 4 to 6 weeks after birth. Briefly discuss the following 300 words each. Weight chart. Weight determines how heavy an object or quantity of a subject is. A body with more weight is considered heavy, like an elephant or a bus. On the other hand, a body of less weight is called light. A feather, leaf, and a bubble are all light in weight. Metric units of weight measurement. Using instruments, the gram and kilogram measure how heavy an object is. International system of unit is the metric system used universally as a standard for measurements. The SI unit of mass is the kilogram. When we buy groceries, they are measured in weight units such as grams and kilograms. Gram. A gram is a metric unit of mass. It is abbreviated as G. 1000 grams is equal to 1 kg. Kilogram. A kilogram is a measure of mass. It is abbreviated as kg. 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. Here is a chart used for the conversion of metric unit of weight. Customary units of weight measurement. This is the US standard unit. The US customary units for measuring weight are ounce, pounds, and tons. An ounce is an impure measure of weight. It is abbreviated as OZ. An ounce is equivalent to 28.35 grams. Also, 16 ounces is 1 pound. 1 pound is an empirical unit of mass. It is abbreviated as LB. So, a pound is defined as 0.454 kg. Also, 1 pound is 16 ounces. Fun fact about pound: LB is an abbreviation for the Latin word libra, the seventh sign of the zodiac symbolized by scales. Ton. A ton is a standard unit for measuring mass. 1 ton is 1000 kg. Also, 1 ton is equal to 2000 kg. Here is a chart that is used for conversion of customary units of weight. Now, the healthcare providers use these tools to monitor childhood growth and development, weight management, weight loss. When you go in for a regular checkup, your healthcare provider will likely take your weight and weight measurements. They then use the measurements to determine whether you are in a normal weight range for your height, age, and gender. It's important to recognize that these tools are only part of health assessment. No one number fits every individual. Healthcare providers use the three primary types of charts to measure height and weight: head circumference, body mass index, and waist circumference. Now, the part B is measuring the mid upper arm circumference. MUAC is the circumference of the right upper arm measured at the midpoint between the tip of the shoulder and the tip of the elbow. The other anthropometric parameters include skin fold thickness at defined site, muscle circumferences, and waist. Hip ratio. The MUAC test measures the circumference of the mid upper arm. The MUAC test can identify children between 6 months and 5 years old who have malnutrition and are at high risk of dying. MUAC is a simple measurement. It uses a colored tape that is wrapped around the left upper arm. Parents and carers can be trained to measure the MUAC. Children aged 6 months to 5 years who have a MUAC reading of less than 12.5 centimeter or whose arm circumference falls within the red or yellow indicator on the colored tape should be referred to the nearest health or nutrition center. How to measure MUAC? Explain the procedure to the child's mother or caregiver. Ensure that the child is not wearing any clothing on his or her left arm. If possible, the child should stand straight and sideways to the measurer. Bend the child's left arm at 90 degrees to the body. Find the point of the upper arm. The midpoint is in between the tip of the shoulder and the elbow. Mark with a pen the mid upper arm point. Ask the child to relax the arm so it hangs by his or her side. Using both hands, place the MUAC tape window on the midpoint. While keeping the left hand steady, wrap the MUAC tape around the outside of the arm with the right hand. Feed the MUAC tape through the hole in the tape while keeping the right hand planted on the arm. Pull the tape until it fits securely around the arm while keeping the right hand steady on the child's arm. Read and record the measurement at the window of the MUAC tape to the nearest millimeter. If a child has a MUAC of less than 12.5 centimeter, a referral form must be filled out so that the child can receive treatment. Community message. Inform the community that thin, weak children who are not growing well can obtain treatment without cost. Find out the local word for a child who is very thin and use it to help find cases. Encourage caregivers to seek health treatment giving if their children's malnutrition. Tell them that treatment will enable the child to grow well, prevent stunting, and help the child to avoid diseases later in life. Explain the MUAC arm measurement to caregivers. Tell them that it shows which children are malnourished and should receive treatment. Inform the community and parents the MUAC tapes identify children who are malnourished. Use MUAC to measure children between 6 months and 59 months of age, especially those who are risk thin or weak. Sick, thin, or weak. Find out which health facilities or centers treat malnourished children in your area. Refer children that have a MUAC or less than 12.5 centimeter or indicate red or yellow on the colored tape with their families to the above center for treatment. What do different measures and colors mean? Red color severe, yellow is moderate, green is healthy. MUAC for red is greater than 11.5 centimeter and for yellow is 11.5 to 17.4 and for green is less than, I think it should be less than 11.5, less than 11.5. And red for the action refers to the nearest health facility that provides therapeutic feeding. Question number 7. Write about the following food supplementation programs, 300 words each. A part is ACDS. The ACDS services in Indians' response to the challenge of meeting the holistic need of the child. The ICDS is one of the world's largest and most unique outreach program for early childhood care and development. It symbolizes Indians' commitment to its children. The first ICDS project was launched in India with 33 projects in all over the country on 2nd October 1975, and ICDS project Jama Masjid was the milestone project for the state of Delhi. Launched on 2nd October 1975, the Integrated Child Development Services ICDS scheme is one of the flagship programs of the Government of India and represents one of the world's largest and unique programs for early childhood care and development. Children in the age group 0 to 6 years constitute around 158 million of the population of India. 2011 census. These children are the future human resource of the country. Ministry of Women and Child Development has implemented various schemes for welfare, development and protection of children. Launched in 1975, Integrated Child Development Scheme is a unique early childhood development program aimed at addressing malnutrition, health and also development needs of young children, pregnant and nursing mothers. ICDS consists of 4 different components, namely early childhood care, education and development, ECCED, care and nutrition counseling, health services, community mobilization, awareness, advocacy and information, education and communication. Objectives of the scheme are broadly classified as follows: institutionalize essential services and strength structures at all levels, implementing ICDS in mission mode to prevent undernutrition, strengthen ICDS AWC as the first village post for health, nutrition, and early learning, focusing on children under 3 years, focusing on early child care and learning environment, moving from outlays to child related outcomes, fostering decentralization and community based locally responsive childcare approaches, enhance capacities at all levels, vertical integration of training of all functionaries to strengthen field based joint action and teamwork to achieve desired results and objectives, establish national training resources centers at central and state levels, ensure appropriate intersectoral response at all levels, ensure convergence at the grassroots level by strengthening partnerships with PRIs, communities, civil societies to improve child development services, coordinate and network with all government and non government organizations providing services for children. Rise public awareness and participation, strengthen maternal and childcare nutrition and health education. Rise public awareness at all levels about vulnerabilities of children, inform beneficiary group and public about availability of core services, promote social mobilization and voluntary action, create database and knowledge base for child development services, strengthen ICDS management information system. Use information communication technologies to strengthen the information base and share and disseminate information. Undertake research and documentation. Services of ICDS, health checkups, immunization, growth promotion, and supplementary feeding. Referral services, early childhood care and preschool education, nutrition and health education. Funding pattern. Prior to 2005 to 2006, providing of supplementary nutrition was the responsibility of the states, and administrative cost was provided by the Government of India as 100% central assistance. The nutrition costs were merged, and coverage of the program in all village habitations was also limited and not universal. Since many states were not providing adequate supplementary nutrition in view of resource constraints, it was decided in 2005 to 2006 to support the states UTs up to 50% of the financial norms or to support 50% of expenditure incurred by them as supplementary nutrition, whichever is less. Since 2009 to 10, Government of India has modified the sharing pattern of the ICDS scheme between the center and states. The sharing pattern of the supplementary nutrition in respect of northeastern states between center and states has been changed from 50 is to 50 to 90 is to 10 ratio. In respect of other states, UTs, the existing sharing pattern in respect of supplementary nutrition is 50 is to 50. The existing cost sharing ratio for the other components is 90 is to 10, except the new components approved under strengthening and restricting, for which it is 75 is to 25. Approval of strengthening and restricting of ICDS in the 12th 5-year plan in order to address various programmatic, management, and institutional gaps and to meet administrative and operational challenges. Government has approved the strengthening and restricting of ICDS scheme with an allocation of rupees 1,23,580 crore during 12th 5-year plan. Administrative approval in this regard was issued to the states UTs on 22 October 2012. Restricted and strengthened ICDS has been rolled out in 200 high burden districts in the first year. In additional 200 districts in second year, that is WEF 1 is to 4 1 4 2018, including districts from special category states NER and in remaining districts in third year. Key features of strengthened and restricted ICDS inter alia include addressing the gaps and challenges with programmatic reforms, repositioning the AWC as a vibrant ECD center to become the first village outpost for health, nutrition, and early learning, minimum of 6 hours of working extra, construction of AWC building and revision of rent including upgradation, maintenance, improvement, and repair, strengthening package of services, strengthening ECCE focus on under 3s, care and nutrition counseling service for mothers of under 3s, and management of severe and moderate underweight, improving supplementary nutrition program with revision of cost norms, management of severe and moderate underweight, identification and management of severe and moderate underweight through community based intervention, SNEHA Shivers extra, strengthening training and capacity as well as technical human resource extra. Management reforms, decentralized planning, management, and flexible architecture introduced of annual program of implementation program and flexibility to states for innovation ensuring convergence at all the levels, including the grassroots level, strengthening governance, including PRIs, civil society, and institutional partnerships with norm of up to 10% projects to be implemented in collaboration with such agencies. Strengthening of ICDS management information system using information communication technology, web enabled MIS, and use of mobile telephone and others. De- de- Deploying adequate human and financial resources with revision of some of the existing norms in components training extra introducing new items pool of united flexi fund and for promoting voluntary action local innovation anganwadi come prints worker and link worker provision for children in special needs extra institutional reforms ICDS in mission mode with missions at national state and district levels introducing APIPs and MOUs with states and UTs technical and management support for ICDs at various levels hit hard to not available delivery of quality services with major inputs, processes, outputs, and outcomes. Mission to report to the Prime Minister's Council at national level and to the CM's Council at the state level on nutrition, child development, including early learning, extra. State Child Development Society will be set up at the state level with powers to set up its district units. Fund transfer of the ICDS mission will be ch- will be channeled through the consolidation fund of the state. However, in the event the state fails to transfer the funds within 15 days, it will be liable to pay interest on the amount on the pattern of releases the finance commission fund. Nutrition counseling come additional worker in 200 high burden districts and link workers in other districts will be on demand by state government approved through APIPs by EPC. District mission unit would be set up as per the phasing plan of the ICDS mission. Besides, district ICDS cells to continue to operate as per existing norms and district cells to be set up in those districts where the cell is not existing. Constitution of the mission steering group and empowered program committee at national and state levels for effective planning, implementation, monitoring, and supervision of ICDS mission. Creation of a separate ICDS mission budget had to allow flexibility and integration within the child development and nutrition sectors and for convergent action with wider determinants of maternal and child undernutrition. The ICDS mission targets would be attain three main outcomes, namely prevent and reduce young child undernutrition by 10 percentage point, enhance early development and learning outcomes in all children 6 year up to 6 years of age, improve career and nutrition of girls and women, and reduce anemia prevalence in young children, girls, and women by one fifth. Annual health service and district level household survey to be used as baseline for measuring the outcomes of ICDS mission to strengthen training and capacity building. Revision of rent for AWC building up to rupees 750, rupees 3000 and rupees 5000 per month per unit for rural or tribal, urban and metropolitan cities respectively. Revised norms for preschool education kits at the rate of rupees 3000 per AWCPA and rupees 1500 per mini AWCPA. Revised cost norms for two uniforms as the rate of rupees 300 each per annum per worker subject to overall budgetary allocations and piloting or crunch service in 5% of the AWCs. Midday Meal. Midday Meal scheme was started in India from 15th August 1995 under the name of National Program and Nutritional Support to Primary Education. In October 2017, NPNSPE was renamed as National Program of Mild Day Meal in Schools, which is popularly known as Midday Meal Scheme. Recently, the Vice President of India has proposed the inclusion of milk and midday meal of children. In September 2021, the midday meal scheme was renamed PMPOSHAN, Poshan, PM Poshan, or Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman. PM Poshan will extend the hot cooked meal to students studying in pre-primary levels or Bal Vatikas of government and government aided primary schools in addition to those already covered under the midday school. PM Poshan. The revamped scheme has been launched for 5 years from 2001 to 2002 to 2025 to 2026 with a budget of rupees 130,794.90 crore. The government hopes it will benefit 11.80 crore children studying in 11.20 lakh schools across India. The scheme is different from the midday meal scheme in the following ways. Apart from providing nutritional meals to school child, the revamped scheme will also focus on monitoring the nutritional levels of school child. A nutritional expert will be appointed in each school to ensure that the BMI, weight levels, and hemoglobin level of the students are monitored. In districts with a high prevalence of anemia, special provision for nutritional items would be made. The government is also considered developing nutrition gardens on school campuses with active participation by students. There could also be cooking competition held under the scheme to promote ethical cuisines and innovative menus based on local ingredients. The main objectives of the MDM scheme are to increase the enrollment of the children belonging to disadvantaged section in the school, leading in enrollment to increased attendance in the schools, to retain children studying in classes 1 to 8, to provide nutritional support to the children of the elementary stage in drought affected areas. Silent features of midday meal scheme. It is the world's largest scheme meal program aimed to attain the goal of universalization of primary education. The Ministry of Education is the authorized body to implement the scheme. It is centrally sponsored scheme, hence cost is shared between the center and the state. Tamil Nadu is the first state to implement the midday meal scheme. In 2001, MDMS became a cooked midday meal scheme under which each eligible child was provided with a prepared midday meal for a minimum of 200 days. Energy intake 300 calories, protein intake 8 to 12 grams. Till 2002, the scheme was only designed for government aided and local body schools. Later, children studying in Education Guarantee School and Alternative and Initiative Education Centers too were included under the scheme. In 2004, MDMS was revised. Central assistance provided for cooking cost, transport subsidy included for all states, maximum of rupees 100 per quintal for special category states and rupees 75 per quintal for other states. Management, monitoring and evaluation of the scheme. Provision to severe midday meal during summer vacation to the children of drought affected areas was also added. In 2006, the MDMS was again revised. Cooking cost was enhanced to rupees 1.80 per child per school day for states in the northeastern region and rupees 1.50 per child per school day for the other states and UTs. Nutritional norm was revised. Energy intake was increased from 300 calories to 450 calories, and protein intake was increased from 8 to 12 grams to 12 grams. In 2007, class 6 to 8 children studying in 3479 educationally background blocks were included in the scheme. SSA supported madrasas and maktabs were included in this scheme in 2008. Apart from the calories and food intake for micronutrients, each child is entitled to receive the amount provided for in the school health program of the National Rural Health Mission. Write about the symptoms, causes, and treatment of any two of the following childhood diseases in brief. Bronchitis. Bronchitis is an inflammation of the lining of your bronchial tubes which carry air to and from your lungs. People who have bronchitis often cough up thickened mucus, which can be discolored. Bronchitis may be either acute or chronic. Symptoms for either acute bronchitis or chronic signs and symptoms may include cough, production of mucus, fatigue, shortness of breath, slight fever and chills, chest discomfort. If you have acute bronchitis, you might have cold symptoms such as a mild headache or body ache. While these symptoms usually improve in about a week, you may have a nagging cough that lingers for several weeks. Chronic bronchitis is defined as a productive cough that lasts at least 3 months, with recurring bouts occurring for at least 2 consecutive years. If you have chronic bronchitis, you are likely to have periods when your cough or other symptoms worsen. At those times, you may have an acute infection on top of chronic bronchitis. Causes. Acute bronchitis is usually caused by viruses, typically the same viruses that cause cold and flu. Antibiotics don't kill viruses, so this type of medication is not useful in most cases of bronchitis. The most common cause of chronic bronchitis is cigarette smoking, air pollution, and dust or toxic gases in the environment. or workplace also can contribute to the condition. Your healthcare provider probably won't prescribe medication to treat your bronchitis. In some cases, you can use medication to help you with symptoms or to treat the underlying causes including antiviral medications, bronchodilators, anti-inflammatory medications, cough suppressants, antibiotics, COPD, asthma treatment. Whooping cough. Whooping cough is a highly contagious respiratory tract infection. In many people, is marked by severe hacking cough followed by a high-pitched intake of breath that sounds like woof. Before the vaccine was developed, whooping cough was considered a childhood disease. Now, whooping cough primarily affects children too young to have completed the full course of vaccination and teenagers and adults whose immunity has faded. Deaths associated with whooping cough are rare but most commonly occur in infants. That's why it's so important for pregnant women and other people who will have close contact with an infant to be vaccinated against whooping cough. Symptoms. Once you become infected with the whooping cough, it takes about 7 to 10 days for signs and symptoms to appear, though it can sometimes take longer. They are usually mild at the first and resemble those of a common cold. Runny nose, nasal congestion, red watery eyes, fever, cough. After a week or two, signs and symptoms worsen. Thick mucus accumulates inside your airways, causing uncontrollable coughing. Severe and prolonged coughing attacks may provoke vomiting, result in a red or blue face, cause extreme fatigue, and with a high pitched woof sound during the next breath of air. However, many people don't develop the characteristic woof. Sometimes a persistent hacking cough is the only sign that an adolescent or adult have whooping cough. Infants may not cough at all. Instead, they may struggle to breathe or they may even temporarily stop breathing. Causes. Whooping cough is caused by a type of bacteria called Bordetella pertussis. When an infected person coughs or sneezes, tiny germ-laden droplets are sprayed into the air and breathed into the lungs of anyone who happens to be nearby. Treatment. Many infants and some young children will need to be hospitalized during treatment for observation and respiratory support. Some may need intravenous fluids for dehydration if symptoms prevent them from drinking enough fluids. Since whooping cough is a bacterial infection, antibiotics are the primary cause or course of treatment. Antibiotics are most effective in the early stage of whooping cough. They can be used in the late stage of the infection to prevent it from spreading to others. Protein energy malnutrition. Protein energy malnutrition used to be called protein energy malnutrition is called as undernutrition previously. In simple terms, this is when there is a deficit of energy in your body as a cause of deficiency of all the micronutrients. This can also include a deficiency of micronutrients. This can also be include protein energy undernutrition used to be called protein energy malnutrition in previous years. In simple terms, this is when there is deficient of energy in your body as a cause of deficiency of all macronutrients. This can also include a deficiency of micronutrients. Macronutrients in the body include carbohydrate, fat, protein, whereas micronutrients include vitamins, minerals. These are all needed for energy. As per the World Health Organization, protein energy malnutrition is desperately between the supply of protein and energy and the body's need for them to guarantee healthy development, optimal growth. This can occur all of the sudden or it can occur gradually and can be graded as mild, moderate, and severe. In this article, we will look at some of the protein energy malnutrition symptoms, causes, treatment options, prevention methods, and much more. This is a very common thing in children in developing countries like India, Tanzania, where children are not getting the calories and proteins, whereas in developed countries, it's more common in the older generation. Symptoms of secondary PEM can range from mild to severe and change the function of just about every organ within the body. The intensity and the type of symptom depend on the patient's prior dietary status, nature of the disease, and the velocity at which it is progressing. Some of the protein energy malnutrition symptoms that can be noticed are weakened grip and incapability to do things that require high energy, physical change in the body like weak arms and legs, hair color change to red yellow, hair loss, weight loss, skin becoming thin, pale, inelastic and dry, extra. Apathy and irritability, temporary lactose absence, liver, heart, and kidney failure. The risk of hip fractures and ulcers is high in older patients. These are just a few of the symptoms, however, there are many more and they may differ from patient to patient. Treatment, there are many ways through which this can be treated. Some of the treatment options are avoiding lactose, oral feeding, improving nutritional education to educate and inform people of the various nutrients that are important for the human body and how a deficient can be fatal, providing multivitamin supplement. These are only a few of the protein energy malnutrition treatments. However, there are many more that doctors recommend and provide. Anemia, anemia occurs when there are not enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to your body's organ. As a result, it's common to feel cold and symptoms of tiredness or weakness. There are many different types of anemia, but the most common type is iron deficiency anemia. You can begin to ease symptoms of this type of anemia by adding iron to your diet. Anemia happens when you don't have enough red blood cells or your red blood cells don't work as they should. Your red blood cells carry oxygen throughout your body. Oxygen powers your cells and gives you energy. Without healthy red blood cells that do their job, your body does not get the energy it needs to function. While some types of anemia are short term and mild, others can last for a lifetime. Left untreated, anemia may be life threatening. Fatigue, feeling too tired to manage your activities, is the most noticeable anemia symptom. Other symptoms may include shortness of breath, dyspnea. This is the feeling you can't catch your breath or take a deep breath. Dizziness. This is feeling lightheaded or unsteady on your feet. Fast or irregular heartbeat. This is when your heart feels like it's racing or skipping beats. Pounding or whooshing sound in your ear. This is a whooshing sound in one of your ear that may come and go. Headache. Iron deficiency anemia and anemias caused by low hemoglobin may cause headaches. Pale or yellow skin. Your skin color may be paler than usual. Chest pain. This may feel like something is pressing or on or squeezing your chest. First, your healthcare provider will determine if you have anemia caused by poor diet or a more serious health problem. They may refer you to a hematologist, a healthcare provider who specializes in blood disorders. Here are some examples of common anemia treatments. Healthcare providers may recommend changing your diet or taking supplements if you have iron deficiency anemia or pernicious anemia. Then, if you have anemia because you have a chronic disorder, your provider will treat the underlying condition. They may prescribe medication to boost red blood cell production. Providers may use medication like immunosuppressants or treatments like blood transfusion to treat anemias that happen when you have abnormal red blood cells, like aplastic anemia or hemolytic anemia. So, this is the end of the assignment. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.